Petr Yan just destroyed Merab Dvalishvili. I think the best mixed martial arts performance of all time. He out-wrestled him, out-grappled him, out-struck him, out-damaged him, everything. He looked phenomenal, and I'm going to tell you exactly why it happened. Now, if you follow my channel, which I don't know why I fell off, I was getting good views for a while, had some big videos, then suddenly couldn't even break 50 views on a video. So I don't know what happened with that, but who knows? I'll just keep posting regardless. Anyways, if you're watching my videos, 2 videos ago I posted that Merab Dvalishvili isn't as safe as a pick as people think. I saw his activity, I saw his party lifestyle, I saw his lack of focus, all culminating to create an environment that was not conducive to winning. And we saw that on Saturday night. And if Petr Yan does win and Merab doesn't look like himself, it's a Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Beto 1 performance. Don't be surprised. Or a Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya performance. Do not be surprised if that happens. Do I think Yan only has a 9% chance of winning? No. I'd say Yan probably has a 40 or 30% chance of winning, if not 50. He's been in Russia. He's locked in. Merab's been running around, doing all these things, overtraining, high fight frequency, while Petr Yan has been recovering. So I think Petr's going to be much fresher when they step in that cage. And if it's a crazy upset, don't say I didn't warn you. No, yeah, I get it. Merab makes funny skits. He hangs out with Nina Drama, everyone's favorite reporter, but that's not going to help you win a championship when you're going against someone from Russia who's locked in training camp, completely dialed in, no distractions, family with him. Petr Yan he gave everything in this fight, and you could tell. Whereas Merab, is that Merab at 100%? I don't think so. I don't think it was. Now, I think there's 2 cases which could be true at the same time. Petr Yan got better, and Merab Dvalishvili. Actually, I don't know, because maybe Petr Yan just is that good. Because Merab could stop almost all of Umar's takedowns. He could nullify his striking, and Petr Yan, is it because Merab was overworked? Was Merab that overworked, or is Petr Yan just that good? It's very hard to gauge, and the only way we can tell is if they have a trilogy. Because that trilogy, first of all, it's going to be one of the greatest trilogy buildups of all time. Merab dominated Petr, super dominant champ. Petr, huge underdog, comes into the fight. No one thinks he'll win. Then he 49-46 is Merab. I think it should have been a 50-45. And destroys him in the same way Merab dominated Petr in the first fight. Petr got more takedowns than Merab. That is unheard of for a Merab fight. But going into the third fight, both of these men have dominated the other. So it's truly going to be Izzy versus Pereira. That's how it's going to feel. It's either guy's fight, and what I will say is Petr Yan versus matchups you could make with him are insane. Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley would be sick. Petr Yan versus Umar would be sick. Petr Yan versus Talbot. Man, there's some very fun matchups you can make with Petr Yan at the top. But if they do have a trilogy, I'm going Merab. 100% going Merab. I'm going Petr Yan. No doubt. And here's why. Petr Yan just destroyed Merab, first of all. Now, whether it's a Merab at 100 or not, he's going to have confidence from that. Merab's going to take a hit to his ego. He hasn't lost in 10 years. He hasn't been down that route in a long time. So, not only is momentum on Petr Yan's side, the confidence is on his side. And I think Petr Yan truly does download data. He actually gets better. I guess Aljo kind of throws that whole rule out the window, but Petr 9 times out of 10 gets better the longer he fights you. He gets better reads. I think the fact that Aljo beat him in that rematch is truly insane. That win's extremely slept on. People call Aljo a fake champ. That win is one of the best wins of all time, beating Petr like that. The same way that Merab dominating Petr was one of the best wins, although I'd argue that it wasn't as impressive because Petr was compromised, 1. And 2, Aljo beat Petr Yan when he had momentum and lots of it. So I think Aljo's win over Petr Yan was more impressive. And I know on paper, Merab was far more dominant. But again, that was Petr Yan coming off 2 losses, and Petr Yan was compromised. So that Aljo win is much more impressive. I don't care how crazy it is. If you actually look at it, it makes sense. One thing I will say is people are so quick to change up their GOAT list and say who the new bantamweight GOAT is. People are already saying Merab's the GOAT. You got to hold your horses. He hasn't even had one defense yet. You're completely forgetting about Merab's reign, Aljamain's reign, TJ's reign, Cruz's reign. Those guys all deserve respect. And look, on paper, I think Merab could be any bantamweight of all time, and probably would. He probably would, but resume-wise, you can't give him GOAT status. I wouldn't even put him above Aljo. Seriously, you can't put him above Aljo on the bantamweight GOAT list or Merab yet. Do I think he's better than them? Yes, he's better, but as far as resume-wise and GOAT lists go, no. But yeah, if he were to fight Aljo again, he'd beat him. If he were to fight Merab again, he'd beat him. The Sean fight pretty much a win. He doesn't lose to anyone. Umar Nurmagomedov is going to get schooled. Absolutely schooled. He's a worse version of Petr Yan. He has a little more eggs in his grappling department, but less in the striking. Merab's fought way better strikers than Umar, and Sean O'Malley. Song Yadong is a similar level. It's going to be pretty one-sided if they fight. I truly believe that, because the reason Merab's takedowns are much more effective against Merab or against Yan than, say, Aljo's are because the cardio, the constant pressure, which Petr Yan doesn't do very well against. But when you got someone like Umar who sets up his stuff, I believe Petr is going to do a better job at defending that. Aljo, the reason he won is, first of all, he's one of the best BJJ artists in the whole UFC. Submission-wise, not the best, but as far as ground control goes, Aljo is very good. We saw him go toe-to-toe with Evloev. I think he won that fight. But anyways, the reason he was able to actually control Leon is because he has that skill set. No one else in bantamweight has that skill set, though. Umar's not going to be holding, controlling people down. Batista almost put him in a heel lock. Batista dropped him. If Batista's doing that to you, Petr Yan's going to disintegrate you, straight up. First things first, Merab needs the trilogy. This will be one of the greatest build-ups of all time, following one of the greatest fights of all time. And I personally can't wait. Merab's going to be a lot better. He's going to be back and a lot better with some time off. Maybe give him 4, 5, 6 months off. And then you rebook this fight. Or you could give Petr Yan a fight in the meantime while Merab sits out. He lets his body recover because he does need it. He's 35. And this is what I said in my video the other day. I said, yes, his name's the Machine and he has this aura, but no one's invincible. Everyone's going to fall and falter to the gas out, the overwork, the high cortisol, the damage accumulation in your body, the high activity. Yeah, everyone's going to fall victim to it. I don't care who you are, if you're Merab, if you're the average Joe, it affects everyone. This fight's going to be more competitive, and I think this one actually is going to be 3-2. Merab's going to come out. He's going to, telling you right now, his game plan is going to be shoot even more than he shot before. He's going to shoot every 10 seconds. He was not going to let Petr Yan breathe. Maybe he'll win a round. He could win 2, maybe even 3. Ultimately, I see it being a 3-2 fight with those two if they were to fight in a trilogy, which they should. And also, real quick, Van and Pantoja, oh my gosh, that was insanely infuriating. I promise you Pantoja would have won that. Who knows how messed up he's going to be after that arm break. Dude, I really, really hope he can beat Van in a rematch. Makes me mad to think about, dude. That's not a proper fight. That's not a proper result. I want a real fight. I'm just really hoping that doesn't affect him too much in his next. But if it does, bro, we make like Justin Gaethje and we riot. So that was my reaction to Petr Yan, Merab Dvalishvili. Why Petr Yan won. Again, very impressive performance. The best mixed martial arts performance of all time, bar none. Full display. And let me know what you guys thought about it. I loved it. One of my favorite fights to watch. If you're still here, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.